Hello guys, welcome to Ink 33. This channel contains the spoilers of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. If you have not watched the previous episode, Final Decisive Battle Part 4, the link is down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe and also hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Final Decisive Battle Part 5. So, I worked hard like that. I hope that all of you will understand that I was never slacking off. Belda was surprised by my appearance. That was understandable. After all, I appeared with teleportation that I just got a while ago. At the same time, I acquired it. She'll incorporated it into Void God as a thought. It seemed Mai could only go to places she had been to before, but that was her limit as a human. That could not be helped since a human's ability to grasp space heavily relied on their eyesight. However, I could grasp a huge amount of spatial information, including with observation magic. That meant that I could teleport to places that I could recognize. I could learn about the situation through Diablo and Beldora-san's eyes now. That was the reason I could easily come to this place. I looked at Belda, who was wary of my arrival, and showed him a fearless smile. It was to provoke him. With that, it would increase Belda's wariness towards me. In that opportunity, I prepared myself in order to bring down Belda. Before Belda rushed into action, I absorbed the energy I had suppressed. I was fortunate that my energy recovery could not catch up and steadily absorbed it into my imaginary space. In there, she diligently converted it into energy I could use. Thanks to that, I greatly recovered from my low energy state and it seemed to be enough to fight Belda. I guess you will never know what could turn out to be a fortunate situation. By the way, I found out the reason why my energy didn't recover when I came to this place. The culprit was purely Beldora-san. I think he created clones and rampaged around. It seemed he could replenish his energy through the soul corridor from me. No mistake about that. I thought so, but when I confirmed that with chill while being amazed, I heard a surprising answer. That's right. In addition, a bit of it is also flowing into Diablo and Benimaru. More energy was used than expected from Pelgrin's skill, evolution. She replied in a carefree way like, and so what about it? Because she said it too smoothly, I was stuck on how to reply to that. No. She used my energy without my permission though. However, even if I wanted to complain, it was true that I was helped by the low energy state due to her doing. There was a heap of stuff that I wanted to say, but I gave up complaining. Or rather, perchance, even this situation was within Sheol-san's expectations. No. There's no way. I might indeed just be overthinking it. It couldn't be right. There was no way she could predict things that far and predicted what kind of plan Belda would take either. I have confirmed the phenomenon of energy returning to heaven when the angels were defeated in various places. Yeah, I knew that. I had predicted that the most efficient way to use the energy of the angels gathered in the heaven is to make all of the energy to go berserk. Therefore, as the countermeasure for it, I have pursued your state of energy exhaustion. Well, you said it so easily, but wouldn't that be a big problem if you misread things? Moreover, Belda might absorb all of the energy and superpower of himself. I couldn't possibly fight Belda in and out of gas state like that. What were you going to do if the energy didn't recover smoothly? He can't do such things as super power up. You wouldn't be struggling if he could power up himself that easily. Well, even if he were to superpower up himself temporarily, there will be no problem. I don't think that my master will lose in low energy state, but just in case, it was possible to forcibly retrieve Beldora and Belgrind back to recover about 60% of the energy instantly. So, there's no problem. Ah, I see. She declared the super turning was impossible. But what about me? Am I an exception? I felt Shiel-san had overestimated me too much. Shiel-san is the if she says she will do it type. So she generously distributed the energy at a fast pace. Since Beldora-san and Belgrind were also recovering their own energy, certainly it will be the best idea to have them cooperate with me in the worst case situation. Whether I will get their approval or not will become the problem, but I felt relieved to know that such way was available. I felt I got to see a glimpse of Shiel-san's scary side, but my doubt was cleared. What's left was only to defeat Belda. Also, before that, I examined the orb remaining in my left hand. When I finished absorbing all of the energy, it seemed only the core remained. It resembled the Pushido core I made, but the concept seemed to be quite different. What's this? Yo, I thought it was the end, but I didn't think that I will survive in this form, you know? Although I can't really say that I am alive, hahaha. It talked. I stared at the orb in surprise. Even though it had no vocal cords, it seemed to produce sounds by vibrating the magic essence. It was a very skilled orb. Rudra, you are safe. It doesn't seem so, but you were safe. Although Belgrind found herself stuck for words, she still asked the orb. This orb is Rudra. I felt his character was completely different from the Rudra I knew though. Haha, well, being tenacious is my fault after all. No, even if you called yourself as tenacious, your status as an orb was hard to be set as alive. At the moment, I tried to do a carefree Tsukuyomi like that. Belda instantly closed the distance and came to slash me. However, I didn't let my guard down even while talking. I kicked up the sword stock in the ground, wielded it in my right hand, and I stopped Belda's sword with it. Naive, I don't underestimate you that much that I will let my guard down in this final stage, you know. I didn't want to compliment him, but it can't be helped as it was true. Belda was undoubtedly the strongest person as far as I knew. Judging from a brief look just now, his power was surging tremendously. I felt Guy's almightiness and Milim's strength, and the energy of two dragons level. I also thought whether to attack him in the gap while he was wary of me, but stopping was the right decision. As expected, this guy wouldn't let his guard down, so I had to deal with him carefully. Besides, I had just one concern. Since there was such a concern, I couldn't possibly do something such as letting my guard down. I exchanged several blows with Belda and took some distance from him. That just now wasn't even a warm-up. It was just a playful greeting. In the first place, I couldn't get used to fighting using a sword that wasn't mine as I expected. Or rather, this sword was an excellent weapon and obviously of God class too. From pure performance, this sword was better than my katana. Even so, I wouldn't cheat because the katana I was familiar with was easier to be used. Ha. You are not bad. You are able to handle my sword. However, you still have lots more to work on. Unfortunately, you don't seem to be my true vessel. The orb in my left hand proudly said such an evaluation. Or rather, what are you? Because of you, I was fighting Belda with just my right hand. Since the basic is to wield the sword with both hands, I was unfamiliar with fighting only using my right hand. What are you supposed to be? The Rudra I know was full of himself because he was an emperor, but you are above him on that. I see, I did become an emperor, hehe. Well, I guess I must have gotten mellowed out. If I've stopped at the status of an emperor though. I don't care about that stuff and not interested. Like I said, what the heck are you? I ignored the complaint of the orb that started to talk about itself and asked the most important thing. I could not leisurely fight Belda in front of me after all. That's right, you are exactly like Rudra, but I can't think that you are just reproduced memories, you know. Reproduced memories. Belgrand words pique my interest. Apparently, this orb has the effect of reproducing a dead person's memories. However, even if it can recreate a personality as close as the original, the soul is a different matter. It should be no more than a copy, but yeah, it could not be said as reviving someone just by reproducing their memories. What's important for a soul is a heart. It is certainly very interesting. The memory orb that I made can only reproduce memories. There's no function such as recalling soul. If that was possible, there was no need for me to do troublesome stuff like this. Belda seemed to be interested in this phenomenon as well, because he was well informed of the stuff he created. Rudra acquiring free will itself was impossible. Ha 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 ha. It's that, you know, I was super excellent. Or something like that, I guess. Let's ignore the boastful voice that could be heard from my left hand. Rudra certainly died. That was for sure, but talking about a possibility, reincarnation may be one of the causes. Reincarnation? What did you mean by that? Emperor Rudra, his soul torn apart due to repeated reincarnations. It's possible that torn parts of the soul gathered together and became another soul, neither an existing soul nor a temporary soul. It has a heart with a high degree of freedom. His soul was torn apart every time he reincarnated and gathered as one. It's a bad example for an analogy, but is it like the residue of an erased lump together to make a neat eraser or something like that? Treating a soul and an eraser as the same might be a problem though. It wasn't something you would normally think about, but I could hardly say that's absolutely impossible. After all, I got reincarnated as a slime, which you will normally consider as impossible. So, because there was a portion with fragments of Rudra's soul somewhere in this world, that the memory of embedded with the memories was able to reproduce Rudra's will. In that case, I suddenly hit on a good idea, and then I carried out the idea as ordered by the mischievous heart. Rimuru, what are you doing? Ha, this is interesting. Berghain confusedly raised her voice. Rudra felt it was interesting. I didn't really do anything great. I just threw the sword to Belgrand. I fused the memory orb in my left hand with the sword I held in right hand. Though, it embedded the memory orb into the base of the hilt of the god-class sword like a conspicuous shining jewel. Since I fused it so it became one with the sword, the orb part will be as strong as the sword. If there was really a reincarnated person who shared his soul, that person should be able to draw out Rudra's abilities by holding the sword. I made it that way so you could depend on it. In order to enable him to have conversation with the owner, I had also asked Ciel Sensei to remake and change Rudra into a Pishudu Manas. Naturally, the information of the memory orb had been analyzed. I turned it into intelligent sword because I fuse Rudra's will and the sword. From now on, only someone with the same soul wavelength as him can use the sword. In other words, the person who has the qualification to wield the sword will be the proof that the person is Rudra's incarnation. Interesting, right? Don't do things as you please. I thought that she would get angry like that, but Belgrand only took the sword into her embrace and stared at me. Rudra was laughing jovially. Ha 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 ha, is that so? There's a possibility that I got reincarnated. See, that will explain why I got a free will. It's certainly interesting. So he laughed happily. Listening to Rudra's words, Belgrand gave a nod as if to agree with him. Belda was annoyed, but he glared at with an expression as if he was satisfied with something. He thought about the reason why his own plan failed and admitted that or rather, Shiel's dedication was right, I guess. While Belda's attention was on the intelligent sword, I unshielded my katana and took a stance. With this, I could fight seriously. However, given the will of the super excellent me remained a whole. I guess the person who might be my reincarnation now will surely be a coward fellow. I'm looking forward to our meeting. Pooh, that might be so. The last thing left from Rudra at the end was only his charisma. Not even his prided luck remained. But, conversely, that person might only inherit that luck. I want to meet that person if that person exists. Your reincarnation, a cowardly and lucky person. Belgrand nonchalantly said, a cowardly and lucky person. There was someone who matched that description, but it couldn't be right. Although the person in question had no charisma, the person was compensated with incredible luck though. I'm sure that the ability that person had is called the chosen one. It's a coincidence. I'm sure it's a coincidence. I ignored Rudra and Belgrand's conversation and abandoned any further thoughts. Fate will decide their encounter, and if that person was really Rudra's reincarnation, they will eventually come across even if I didn't say anything. Besides, if my thoughts were right, that person probably wouldn't be able to run from Belgrand. Well, it didn't matter to me. I guess I did do some unnecessary things, but the rest was their problem. I irresponsibly decided that Rudra and the others' matter will have nothing to do with me. Like that, it seemed I had succeeded in buying time. Belda was too wary of me and only attempted minor attacks. I easily parried them and waited until the preparation was completed. Then, finally, we did, Rimuru. I and Gaia completely locked up the heaven to another space. So I heard Ramirez shout, "Alright, good job. With this we block your escape." This time for sure, I showed a triumphant smile towards Belda. It will be meaningless if we cornered him this far just for him to run away. Therefore I brought Ramirez and Gaia, Earth-sobering dragon, Belgaia, to the heaven and asked them to lock this place completely. It was impossible for Ramirez because she had her own labyrinth, but it was demonstrated that Gaia could create a pseudo labyrinth. Under Ramirez's guidance, Gaia's labyrinth completely covered up this heaven. "You bastard! So that was your aim!" I could see the color of emotions for the first time in Belda's expressions. The agitation was exactly what I intended. Furthermore, Ramirez and Gaia succeeded in rescuing Milim, who got caught. "Chewie! Gaia, when did you become strong like this?" Milim was safely rescued and she seemed to be surprised with Gaia's growth. "Mission completed on this side. Rimuru, go and send that guy flying." Ramirez proudly gave the ghost sign towards me. In addition to her, to be honest, I wanted to do it myself, but unfortunately, I can't win. Rimuru, please avenge me. Milim said so. Leave it to me. I'll grab it properly into your body as the reward of laying your hands on my precious friends. I raised one hand to answer Milim and declared so towards Belda. Well then, since all of the trouble was sorted out, let's end this quickly. When I thought so, a terrific explosion was heard and a corner of the heaven was blown away. I was surprised and turned my focus to that direction. Just as I thought, I saw Beldora's sun who became pitch black over there.